Well, I guess the lesson of the day is nothing can also mean something. Welcome back to Radio Shack, and today we have another episode recap of TMNT, the Insecta Trifecta. So we get to this episode, and Shredder is still laid up in bed. He's still not feeling well, and getting the mutagen pumped into him. And he's starting to believe that even his powerful and most skilled warriors are failing him, and the only person he can count on is his low, dirty, fly-on-the-wall Baxter Stockman. So Stockman comes up with this plan to build his own insect army so that he can take the city back until Master Shredder is back on his feet. So we go back to the sewers and we see the Turtles playing an old school video game, and Casey's there, which we haven't seen him in a while. We only got a glimpse of him in that City of War, and it's great to have him back. But Mikey brings in some pizza, and as soon as Raph gets it ready to take a bite, there's a cockroach on his slice, and he just flicks it off and continues to eat his pizza. And everyone's worried, like, dude, are you okay? You're not freaking out? Are you good, bro? And he's like, dudes, I'm fine. We've been to outer space. We've been to a planet where it was infested with insects, and I'm good. And they're like, even though Mona Lisa betrayed you when we had to fight a bunch of insects? And he's like, stop bringing up old things, guys. But Leo decides it's time to go on patrol because Shredder is still out there somewhere and we don't know what he's planning. So we catch back up with Baxter Stockman, and he's in his old hideout getting ready to mutate this businessman he captured, and he turns him into this hybrid spider beetle mutant. And the only problem I had with this was that he automatically followed him and did everything that Stockman said. Didn't understand that, but whatever. But as everyone's on patrol, we see Mikey and Leo arguing about what was the better cartoon, Grognar the Barbarian or Space Heroes, and that's like a common thing we do today. But Raph and Casey end up overhearing a bank being robbed, and they find Buzzkill, the new mutant, and this ant that can duplicate himself. But we thought Raph was over his little bug fears, but it turns out he starts to freak out again and starts to hallucinate. And he starts to see all the bugs he faced in the past, like Dreg, the cyborg roach, and he even sees Mona Lisa, and that ends up being too much for him, and he ends up running away and leaving Casey to get caught. And the way he gets caught is weird because they zoom in on the new mutant's butt, and it opens up and you see a mouth come out and spits out this gunk. That's just gross. But the Turtles end up finding Raph, and they see that he's freaking out again, and Mikey's the only one to calm him down. And it's nice that they keep that theme here, because Mikey has always been able to calm him down in this Turtle series, especially at the end of season 2, where Master Splinter gets thrown down the sewers, and Raph gets on a rampage, and Mikey calms him down with his hug. So it's nice to see that consistency. So we catch back up with Baxter Stockman and his insects, and they think it's time for a new hideout because the Turtles can easily find them. And Stockman thinks it's time to go and take down Karai. So we go to Karai, and she's ready to fight, but she has to get caught again. And the Turtles show up at the last minute again. Remember when Karai used to be able to handle her own? It doesn't seem like she's been able to do that lately, but whatever. So we get into the fight, and Raph starts to freak out again. And he sees that Mona Lisa is getting jumped by all these bugs, and he tries to save her. And when he saves her, he ends up doing the whole kissy face thing, but the hallucination stops, and he sees that he's making out with one of the ants. So after the hallucination's over, we find out that Leo, Karai, and April were also caught and taken away. So we end up going back to the lair, and Donnie has this new backpack invention that he invented before they went to space, and it can help them climb up walls. It shoots out zip lines that can go from side to side, up and down. So it'll really help in this situation. And Raph has to talk with Master Splinter because he thought he was over his little phobia, and he he went to a planet where it was infested with bugs, and he thought that helped. But Master Splinter explains that fear, even though you can get over it, you can always get shell shocked back into it. And he says, pardon the pun.
I made a funny.
So we catch up with Dr. Stockman and all his insects, and they're on top of this unfinished building, and it's a perfect situation to use their new invention, and it's the return of Turf Vital Buzz. They get ready to fight, they free the others, and Raph starts to freak out again, but he uses this little mantra that Master Splinter was able to teach him back at the hideout, and it was able to focus him back and fight the way he used to. So they catch the insects. Baxter Stockman ends up leaving his insects behind, and we go back to the hideout, and Raph is thanking Master Splinter for teaching him that mantra and asking what exactly it means, and Master Splinter is like, in Japanese it means nothing. It means nothing, just like fear, and only you have the power to strengthen that fear or weaken it. And he tells them, don't tell your brothers that. I think I should use that on them later. And I like that this Master Splinter is probably the best out of the Master Splinters we've seen of all time, just because he's continually teaching them and he really cares for them. And even though they have been on these great adventures, we still see that the turtles have more to learn as they grow to become better heroes. So we catch back up with Shredder, and Buzzkill is trying to tell him that his plan failed, but he was like, but your mutagen plan didn't. And he grows these spikes out of his hand, kind of like Wolverine, and it looks like we're getting one step closer to the Super Shredder, or he might end up looking like the Shredder from the Ninja Turtle reboot. Who knows? But I thought this was a little okay episode. It was a nice filler, you know, but we were able to continue the plot that's going to be for this back half of the season. So yeah, comment below, let me know what your favorite part was, and if you like this episode. If you like my recap/review, hit the like button, that always helps out. And if you're new, you like my turtle recaps, you like Power Rangers, superhero stuff, all that jazz, hit the subscribe button, and until my next video, I will see you later.